What is going on, UEL fam?
What's
we
up?
are here. I am Ryan Grieve, Go Squad owner. This is
Pastor Herbs. What's up? It's your boy.
What's going on?
Owner of the Ravens, player of the Ravens, and coach of the Ravens. Yes, I wear very
partner
many hats.
Of the league.
Partner of the league. It's a very, very
general manager of the arcade.
Without a doubt, man. It's a lot of things that I do here.
I don't know what he doesn't do, to be honest.
Well, I appreciate the introduction. I really do.
So we're going to be your hosts for the UEL podcast. We are going to go over all the stats of the players, what's currently going on in the league, what is the league. That's actually what this episode's about. So we're going to talk about how this league works, when it started, when the tournaments are, how many players we have, what's different about this league, why is this league the #1 video game league in the world, and why we're going to take it there. 1 second, we got a little somebody.
Yes, this is the most important thing. We gotta include the trophy, man.
Hey, so
we don't talk about this.
Yeah, this is the tournament trophy. We already got 2020 and 2021 on here. Germaina College actually took the W in the last one, so
which is crazy.
They're right here on 2021, and we're actually going to get into that and a little bit about that story and how that happened because some of our original teams who've been here from the beginning,
from the very beginning,
and I'm one of them.
They slept. We slept. We all slept on them.
Yeah, we lost. We lost to the college team, and we had played this for about a year before they got involved.
Right, and it was kind of ridiculous how it even all happened because, I mean, initially they came in. I want to say around like September, early October period, right? And the whole tournament was still October 24th, so they had about a month and a half or something like that to prepare. Yeah. So we're like, oh, we gotta you gotta take care of them. We gotta breastfeed them. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about the structure or the strategy. Yeah. And we're telling them all this stuff, and we're giving them literally the best players that they had to pick from because they had about 40 or something players try out, but we'd only get 7. So me and Titus sifted through all of those players, figure out who was the best of the best, and put them on the team. And we're like, no, they're probably still not going to win.
And Titus is the commissioner, by the way.
That's right.
He is the genius that came up with this.
Shout out to T.
Exactly. We're going to get into what he came up with in a second.
Yeah.
So he's exactly right. I'm sad to say it, but my Go Squad, we actually lost to these teams. Yeah, and the conversations we were having, and I know the Ravens were having too.
Yeah, my Ravens folded, man.
Dude, we were talking the whole time, we basically were not worried about them.
No, without a doubt, we weren't worried at all.
No, we counted them out. I didn't underestimate my enemy, but I underestimated my enemy.
Real talk, man, it just didn't make any sense for them to win when you think about the amount of time that you have to put into number 1 practicing, number 2 understanding the strategy of what's happening on the wheel and what's happening in game. There are certain things that you cannot do. For example, if you know you have a player in rotation and a game comes up let's say it's the fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah. Guilty Gear Strive comes up. You can't be like, oh, well, we got that in the bag, and you're down in the whole tournament. That's going to hurt you because the other team is going to forfeit, roll the wheel again, and they're going to have more time to reserve for themselves. For those who don't know, the tournament runs in a 1-to-10 format, and every round is about 4 hours. So within those 4 hours, you either have to try to get to 10 first, or just have more than the other person within those 4 hours. It's so everything's important.
You're digging into it. So let's go ahead and just explain. All right, so right now what we're going to do with this podcast. What we're going to do with this podcast is we're going to go over all the player stats. We're going to have challenges between players where they're calling out other players that they think they can beat in a 1-to-10.
Right.
Okay, so there's rivalries already going. There's already people talking shit. So we got to get those games going. When those games go, we will have those on the podcast, and we'll actually go through some of the clips from those games. And it'll also be streamed live. So you guys will be able to kind of tap in and see that.
See all the action.
So I guess at this point, we should go over what the league is.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so how is this league set up? Right now, we have a total of 12 teams. We have a total of 84 players, and it's growing so fast, we really can't keep updating that number. So know that by the time you watch this, it's over 100 or more than that. It's happening very quickly. The UltimateEndGamersLeague is doing something that's never been done before, and it shows, okay? Herb's actually going to get into how we do the tournament, and we have a 7-player cap, and what we do with 24 different games that we play. So, Herb, you want to go ahead and get into that?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple, just breaking it down. So every team is comprised of no more than 7 players, and every game that is on the wheel is pretty much picked from 5 different categories. It used to be 3, now it's 5, and that's fighting game category, sports games, shooting games, strategy games and racing games. And what you want to do is pretty much make yourself a team that's well diverse enough in most of the categories, so that when they come, that you are able to secure a win in the first of 10 format. But the way it works is that everyone is on a rotation, a baseball rotation almost. Yeah. So it's kind of like a dugout. So let's say everyone knows the game Madden, right? Everybody knows Madden. So we spin the wheel. All the games are on the wheel. We spin the wheel, and the game that comes up will be Madden. So I'm looking at my team, and I'm looking at your team. Let's just do that Ravens versus Ghosts as an example. I have to pick my best Madden player to go against your best Madden player. And hopefully, my team wins, hopefully. Yeah. And we take that dub. And then the way it works is he's out of the rotation, and so is your player. Unless everyone gets picked again for a different kind of game, or a shooter comes up. Because if a shooter comes up, the entire team goes in. Or whatever number requirement is for that particular shooter.
Yeah, however many players you're allowed to play in that shooter.
Exactly. And that's pretty much the way it is. And it's completely different. No one does esports like this at all. Yep. It really makes it an interesting game for the players and the coach, because the coach has to think, ahead of time. They have to think 2 steps ahead and say, okay, I have to secure a win here, or I have to take a loss here, forfeit or whatever, if I can make sure I can win this entire round. Because the whole point is to win the round and continue out in the tournament and win the 10K.
Yeah, so check this out. We got 24 games on a wheel that randomly get selected. You have 7 players that you get to choose from in the beginning. Yeah. Once you select, let's say you have Smash 2v2. That's still on the wheel, right?
Yep.
So Smash 2v2. If you pick 2 players, right, they're off to the side. They cannot be utilized again until you go through the other 5 players on your team. Yep. At that point, you reset, and you can use whoever you want again. There's a lot of strategy on whether it's the owner or the owner coach. There's a lot of strategy on the coach's side as well as the player's side. This is not as simple as throw your best player in every single game.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And you'll see as we go forward here, there's a lot of strategy being used. People sending in dummy people, fake people sitting down before the selection's made.
Right. It's a game.
Exactly.
It's a game, man.
You'll definitely see it. So basically, at this point, that's where we stand as how we run the league. Yep. There's going to be tournaments quarterly. So the next tournament is going to start in February 5th and 6th. Yep. There are free agents currently available. You can become a free agent. I believe it's for about $80.
Yeah, it's $80 to become a free agent. Okay. It's super easy to get into the league nowadays. And just like you said, the preliminary rounds are going to be February 5th and 6th.
Yes, and that's for now. It's easy to get into the league right now.
Right now. Yeah.
But it's slowly but not slowly, I would say. It's extremely quickly becoming much harder to get into the league. And I say that because we've already started dropping players.
Yeah.
The skill level is increasing at a crazy rate.
Crazy rate. I mean, let's just talk about like the last finals that we had, like the Germanic team winning. Like really sparked the surge within the league because number one, it got us
like it's crazy. Lost. We had been practicing for a year. We knew plus. The format. Yeah. This college team did not understand our format. None of the team strategy stuff, and they came in and waxed.
They came in and waxed
because I'm an owner, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the players in the league and a lot of we kind of rested on our laurels a lot. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening, they came with the energy. They had it. Like, the one dude, he just came in with the intercom. We have an intercom here. He's just like, we are not on Adderall the whole time, just keeping everybody's spirits up. And, like, people are realizing now, like, you have to be a team. Like, one player can't do it all. Even if the player, like, let's say like me, right? I'm the player, coach, whatever. I can't do it all. I need a team behind me because you just – it's impossible to do it by yourself, man.
Well, you've learned from the first preseason.
Oh, man.
First season.
Oh, man.
Man. Herb's taking some L's and learned that he can't just do it all. He's learned since then that he needs to utilize all his other players just as evenly as himself. Otherwise, he ends up, whether it's emotionally or mentally drained or just drained from the game before. You can't play every game.
I can't play every game.
they're gonna pull you out.
Exactly.
That's it. You're done. If you're not in the lineup, you can't be picked.
Even if it was Tekken and Street Fighter right after, how am I gonna secure the win in Street Fighter if I can't even if I win, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm out of rotate, it doesn't matter, and that's what makes this whole league so interesting, man. It's really a game of wits.
Exactly. It's really way more to this. So let's get into why this league is so different. So this league, like I've already explained, you got 24 games on a wheel that get selected at random with a team of up to 7. You don't have to have 7, but
Yeah.
I will say we've learned that like it's got to be at least 5.
Yeah.
Or it's extremely difficult.
Real
to get
difficult.
Well, actually, we have some 5-player shooters, so that would be really difficult to beat a 5v4 team, especially at the caliber we play.
Right.
But we would say 5 players is probably the minimum a team would have, and at that level, you have to think of the versatility here because you have everything from Mario, and we'll go over the list. You have everything from Mario Kart to Tekken to NHL, to
so many different
Smash
things.
to freaking everything.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Essentially all the hottest esports right now. So It's like everything that's like popular but also very strategic and very hard to play. Like a lot of people are loving like Valorant nowadays. We have pretty much every shooter. So we have Valorant, Overwatch, Gears of War, COD, Modern Warfare, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
I already said Overwatch, but it's like we pretty much have any shooter that you can think about, as well as pretty much every sports game. So we have Madden, 2K, FIFA, NHL, UFC.
Fortnite's still on the list.
Yeah,
too,
Fortnite's
right?
still on the list.
Yeah.
And all the fighting games that we have, Smash Brothers, we have Tekken, we have Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, everything. Pretty much anything for everybody. So if you're the type of player that's like, oh, I'm pretty much only good at one game, if you really think about it, you have the skills to get good at one game. You have the capacity to get good at other games within that category.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much useful on a team that doesn't have somebody who's strong in that certain category.
Exactly.
So that's how these players get comprised on the team, and that's what makes the team like mesh so well together. And there's a lot of different things that we've seen as far as like team composition, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you have a certain person on the team. So if you have bad spirits or you have just like pretty much just like negative energy, you might not last long on the team.
So
I'll say that too.
He's definitely talking from an owner's perspective right now.
I've seen that. I've definitely seen that.
Shift through a couple gears because he has a lot of different things he does here. So from the owner's perspective and me as well, like the energy and the attitude actually play a major role. So that's another thing. Like this is bringing an opportunity to people that don't play physical sports. This is bringing that virtual sports mentality, all the obstacles you have to face, the team sportsmanship, things that you might not necessarily deal with if you're just playing online or just playing a bunch of individual tournaments.
Right.
This league is cutting edge and it's so different, and we have the hype behind it.
Hell yeah.
We got all the players are joining up. Like this is the next thing.
It's raw, bro.
Exactly.
It's really raw, bro. You have to come with the right mentality, man. You have to be ready for it. Listen, if you've never seen sports a day in your life, or you don't know anything about hard work, you won't last long in this league. You think you play that one game that you want to play, you're not gonna. Everyone's gonna.
Let's see. How many people have we lost that just walk out? We've had a few. We've had a lot of people learn that
it don't work like that.
It's not that easy.
And
and we just keep growing. But people come in and they think like, oh, I'm just gonna dominate at this one game. Oh, I'm just gonna play this one game the whole time. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's okay to like have certain things you like,
right?
But you definitely need to be versatile enough to be able to help your team out in probably at least 2 of the categories.
Right.
If you're not helping in 2 of the categories,
then
somebody else is helping in 3.
Yes.
And that's kind of what like me and him have to do from an owner's perspective. We really have to like develop our team in a way that we cover every category, and then we get our teams to train in a way that they can cover some games that they don't necessarily play, but they can still cover them well. So if we end up in a situation where Herb not being able to play Tekken, right? So I don't know if y'all know, but if you don't, you need to watch this man's stream. What's your stream?
Yes, sir. Pass the Herbs at twitch.tv, man.
Hell yeah. So
Pass the Herbs.
Him. He crushes fighters. He crushes everything.
Pretty much.
Fighters,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Tekken, you can't go in there just thinking that I'm going to be a god at Tekken and maybe I play Smash and that's it. That's not beneficial to the team. There's 24 games to be played. If you can't perform a little bit in a shooter when you need to, that might be a problem.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
these are, sometimes we can get like maybe someone who's so good at fighters and they can pick up like 1 or 2 of the other genre games.
That's a good player.
Exactly.
That's a good player.
They're probably a good player.
That's a good player.
And we're going to get into what has him in a position where he's dedicated his life to this league, seeing it successful, working his ass off to push it forward and make it what it is today. Because, in the beginning, you're talking about, you got to start at 0.
Yeah.
And then Herb got involved. I don't know if you want to start with how you got involved and then explain kind of why you love gaming so much, maybe?
Yeah, I'll start with that. So, I grew up in Newport News, Virginia. Okay. So, that's like 2 hours south from here. And two people that's come from there is like Michael Vick AI, right?
All right.
So like that place is a prominent area for like athletes, but it was a hood area, and like those guys, they played sports to stay out of trouble. You know, they played a lot of sports and like like went fishing, stuff like that. But me, like, I like sports, but I had really liked games, so like I played a lot of games to stay out of trouble. And I had like kind of like a knack for that, and I got pretty good like beating the older kids. And then long story short, coming out here, I got into streaming very heavily. And I got into playing like Tekken very heavily. Tekken is one of my like favorite games just coming up as a kid, right? I was able to like beat older people or whatever like that. So that gave me like a really good feeling. So while I was doing like the college thing and everything like that, I had a college program. It was called Year Up. Shouts out to Year Up. Okay. They basically give you a chance to go to school for a year, and you go for free. They pay for everything, but you have to have.
That's lit. Okay.
Yeah, you have to have really good grades. You have to be on your P's and Q's. And the first year, it's old school, and you're there from like 9 to 5 a.m. And the first 6 months. The second 6 months, they send you to an internship. That's how I had that Capital One bag. And I'm actually allowed to say this now since I graduated from program. Okay. Because they were like, you can't really say. So I interned there for a little bit, and then, that whole thing was going on, so I was feeling really good. So the whole time I was doing it, it felt like a scholarship to play Tekken. Because I was streaming at nighttime, doing my thing and everything like that. And basically, when I graduated, COVID had hit. So they went on a hiring freeze. I was thinking I was about to get hired, it's about to be all cool. They were like, hey, we can't really hire anybody right now. I'm like, dang, that sucks. So I'm like really back to streaming real heavy, like looking for a sponsor.
Dang, I didn't know this, dude.
Yeah, really? Yeah. So I was looking for a sponsor. So I'm talking to the stream. I'm like, guys, we got to get a sponsor, blah, blah, blah. I just moved out the house because they were like, well, I mean, you got to be like a grown man, so you got to do your thing. And I'm like, boom. Yeah, I was like, dang. I was like, I wish I had a job, but shit, I was like, well, I guess we'll make it rock.
Can I have 1 minute?
They were like, go ahead, man, you got it. I was like, well, in the midst of COVID, I was like, I can get some money for streaming. So I'm like, let's kick it in the gear. Let's do what we can. Okay. And that's when Titus just pops in randomly. When I said, I was like, I need a sponsor, he just pops in. And he's like, hey, this guy's got good energy. Like, hey, you want to do a sponsorship? I'm like, cool. I don't even care what it is. Like, let's just do it. Yeah. That's how we ended up doing a charity stream. Yeah. That's how we ended up. So we did a charity stream, raise money for cancer. Yeah. And then I was like putting it out on like Twitter and stuff like that. And the creator of Tekken, his name is Harada. He actually saw it and he retweeted it. So it had got like a lot of people. Yeah, like this is the crazy part, Ryan. Like it got a lot of people to like recognize it and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And then I tell Titus like through like Twitter, I'm like, yo, the creator of Tekken just he just like retweeted the stream. He's like, what? That's crazy. And then Titus, I don't even know if he told you this. Like Titus is talking to the American Cancer Society guy. Okay. He's like, yeah, I got this awesome streamer, blah blah blah. Like he's cool. Like he even got the creator of Tekken to retweet his stream. Yeah. And the American Cancer Society president was like, oh, you mean Harada? And then Titus was like, bro, what? What do you mean? Like, he was like, you play Tekken? He's like, no. I'm just really good friends with, like, the guys down at Bandai Namco or whatever. Yeah. So he was just like, man, that's crazy. And then me and Titus started talking more after we finished the charity stream thing, because it was, like, for a week long, right? We just raised, like, I want to say we raised, like, $500 for cancer patients. Okay. So, and then, it was crazy. So we get into that.
First time linking up, like,
that's sick. It was insane. And then, like, after we finished it, he was like, yeah, like, it's cool. I was like, yeah, I'm in Virginia. He's like, yeah, I'm in Virginia, too. I was like, yeah, I'm in Dumfries, He's like, wait, you're close? I was like, yeah. So he's like, let's meet up. So we ended up meeting up here. And let me know if I can.
We're in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Right. We ended up meeting in Fredericksburg, Virginia when he found out I was close. And then we talked. And that's when he was like, yo, I need you on board. So for me, it's crazy because, like, when I did the Year Up thing, when they, like, paid for school, they weren't paying for, like, me to play Tekken when I went home. But I did that. Yeah. And it felt like a scholarship to play games. It felt like, I was getting paid to play the game or whatever because, like, they paid for the school. And they have, like, a small little stipend. It wasn't much or whatever because, like, they knew, like, it was the program is so hard. Some people are, like, going to quit their jobs or whatever. Like, so I was doing that, and I was like, man, it felt great. It felt like a blast. It felt like, I was leveling up. I was going to other arcades, smoking people in Tekken. Like, I felt like I was on top of the world, man. And then, it all came. I won't say it's like a hope, but it felt different once I realized I'm like, yo, I really got to go in. It felt like a different kind of grind. It felt like, I had to grind, but I couldn't figure out like where
living is different. Than like when you don't have that pressure. behind it.
Yeah.
Very different, especially when it's dropped on you like that.
Like all right, see you later. Yeah. And like no one's hiring because of COVID.
Yeah,
and like
dude, everything shut down.
It was so different, man. It was either like, all right, I go back to where I was working at, which was like the Cheesecake Factory, which I didn't want to do, but I was like, if it worse comes to worse, I'll just do it. I'll suck it up.
Okay.
But it just ended up being like this crazy thing, and I'm here now, seeing the Germana team win, like. It's not really. I guess you could say bittersweet, but it really feels good to like see those kids do that. Yeah. Because I did not have that coming up.
But that's because because you didn't have that.
I know, right?
Exactly. So the league has provided that opportunity.
Yeah.
Which is sick. But for you got involved over a year and a half ago.
Yes.
Doing this charity.
Yes.
And then we've already said that you were the general manager, but then. He came here. The relationship between you and Titus grew. Yeah, like this man's work ethic is crazy.
Thank you,
like,
thank you,
dude. This man's dedication to gaming is crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Like this man, bro. I can't sing any more praises for him and what he's done for the league. But so at that point, you talked about, like, I would assume about getting hired, obviously. So
well, what happened? I was telling him about, like, I was like, I go to this other arcade. I like to go play. I want to be a competitor. And he's like, I want to hire you now. he's like, I just gotta talk to my wife. He's like, let me talk to wifey about it, and then I'll get back with you. But they were opening up the spot. This is probably like a week, like 10 days or something like that before they were actually gonna open here, and it was gonna be like him and her doing everything. He was like, I needed somebody, and you just. Like, I think you're the perfect person. Yeah. Because this is the other thing, too. This is for those who are watching who are, like, maybe don't have a job or something like that. Yeah. If you hit people back, if you respond, if you, like, show common courtesy when you're doing stuff, because there were times when we were doing a charity thing, and I was like, yo, I gotta pay this bill real quick. I was like, hey, Titus, I'm going to be, like, an hour or so late for my stream for this particular day. Is that okay? He'd be like, yeah. And I didn't even have to tell him that. He was like, just the fact that you told me that, he's like, I could tell that you just have the common sense and you understand, like, that's important.
Yeah,
like, just
proactive,
man.
Proactive. Complaining about how somebody gets mad at you because you didn't tell them something you should have told them.
Like, and it's just, it goes a long way. I'm just letting y'all know. But yeah, again, he said, he's like, I like you. I think you'd be a great fit as a manager here. And I was like, bro, I was looking for a job. I was like, hey, listen, I was looking for a job. Yeah. So you said you want to hire me? I was like, I'll take whatever pay.
You were like, all right, so we'll negotiate.
Yeah, right. I was like, I'll think about it.
I mean, because I'm pretty hot. So, I'm good stuff here.
Man, I was more than excited. I was really more than, because it really helped me, like, think. I was like, I made it. Like, for me, like, once I became, once I graduated from the program, like, before I even got to the graduation, I knew I really didn't want to go do the school thing full time. I was like, I want to just start working. Yeah. I was like, I want to get to it. I like to grind. Like, so I knew what it was. Yeah, I knew what it was. I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm going to find a way to do this, and let's do it.
Let's go, man. The universe just came in and was like, y'all can do this or not. And, like, you went with it, man. Like, it's so crazy how that happens. So something with Herb is, so I got a phone call, by the way. So I got a phone call about this guy. I don't want to call him a kid because he's not a kid. But this young guy that Titus had found and was like, yo, this stuff. And Titus is my brother. So we talk about stuff all the time. So, like, I knew what was going on with the league. I knew, like, what him and his wife, Kaylee Walker, what they needed. Kaylee's been a huge part.
Oh my God!
From the very beginning, she's been a killer. She's a master with documents. And,
she's crazy.
Legal stuff.
She, like, wrote the whole legal document for, like, this place, right?
Exactly,
yeah, she wrote the whole, like.
Exactly. I don't even know how to say legally right. So she's killing it, right? So her and Titus really originated all this and brought it to fruition. Then Herb comes in at the perfect timing. Was it before opening day?
It was just it was like a week or like 10 days before. It was like close when I came before opening day.
Yeah. I feel bad because I was here opening day and so was he. And we have a picture actually. You were definitely there.
Yeah.
So basically, Herb, like, was there before opening day, and all Titus could do was tell me about, like, yo, like, this guy, like, he gets it, right? Because one of the hardest things it's been, and you can attest to this. Is to get gamers. People in general,
to understand
get gamers to understand what we're doing here. This is redeveloping what the gaming industry understands as tournaments.
Right.
What the gaming industry understands as a professional gamer.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to call yourself a professional gamer anymore if you're good at one game.
Nope.
You maybe in that realm where in that Call of Duty only type of player pool, but this is taking over that now.
Completely taking over, man.
So you can either get with it or get going.
Or get
going.
That's
basically how it's going to work.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and we do some individual tournaments and stuff.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Herb, you can go ahead and get into, so we host other events here.
All the time.
Yeah, go ahead. So what other type of events
do you do? So, even tonight, we have our Smash event. We do, Smash locals. So we have our offline Smash event twice a week, every Wednesday and Friday. And then we also hold, circuits sometimes. So sometimes we'll do, monthly events where, people from, all across the region will come just here just so they can play for points, play for money on a Saturday. Yeah. So we do that. We have Guilty Gear Strive tournaments. We do a little bit of Tekken as well. Yeah. So we have a little bit of everything for everybody, and we're really pretty much just trying to help those communities flourish while introducing them to the league and introducing them to these new concepts and just flipping the game on its head, man.
Hell yeah, man. And that's the thing is we constantly have other gaming, you call them other arcades or other gaming studios. At this point, they're doing birthday parties and they're doing, which we do too, but they're doing, it's more based off of the location itself. As the Ultimate Endgamers League, we are building a national league. We are a league. We are a league. We are professional players on the team with owners that are reaching out every day. People get percentages based off their skill level.
Right.
There's practices going on. Actually, there's practices going on right now.
Literally.
There's practices going on. I've been here multiple days, and this place is packed out with different people practicing. You cannot just be good at a game and then go home and come back during a tournament and think you're going to win.
Yeah.
You can't win a tournament, go home, not practice, and then come back and think you're going to win the next tournament.
Because somebody's grinding it he beat me last time. I'm not letting it happen again.
We have people here that are here every moment it's open. Yeah. One of those players, and I think we should rep him on the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
One of those players is Rex.
Yes, for sure. Shouts out to Rex, man.
Yeah, shouts out to Rex, man. He's a ride or die from day one.
I'm telling you.
And he's probably the first person that actually taught me that you can go from having no skill set in a certain genre
and
then pick it up and then whoop that ass.
I'm telling you, man.
Rex came back. He shocked me. I'm not going to lie. So we can talk about who dropped him. So what team dropped him and then...
So, unfortunately, it was my team. Yeah.
I knew
it was my team that dropped him. So,
so he dropped him. But I will say, there were some issues.
Yeah.
But then after that, though... Rex went and invested himself. He really invested in himself, and he dedicated to training. And then the top team, I would say, at that point, who still wasn't super great, but they were probably the top team rated at that point, which were the Boos. They actually, which I was not expecting.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all.
The Boos picked him up, and then they just sharpened him up, man.
Yep.
He really did it for himself. He played and trained so hard. For I think just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then he became, oh my God, he became a true problem in the league. Yeah. And now, I got 2 spots open. So, if he was to want it, I would give it to him. But, obviously, people that are dedicated to the teams, especially really good teams, they're pretty locked in. They're usually going to stay. Yeah, they're pretty locked in. I mean, it takes a lot of incentive, and you got to build that as an owner, which sometimes can be hard.
It can be difficult, man. It can be difficult. But for sure, even with, Rex is a great example of somebody who has started up as probably what you would call a low rated player, not a good player, and then transform into a better player than most people want now. Because not only does he practice a lot, he's here a lot, so he's good on intel. He can tell you what everybody else is playing or how everybody else is doing.
I use that
based on their tournament performances all the time, and give that back to your team, and that makes him a class S level threat is what people like to call.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
He went from Apex, how you have to pick up items. He went from really struggling in shooters to pick up items at that level to now he's a threat.
Yeah,
that's the amount of work you put in, and that just shows that maybe you don't play something right now.
Yeah,
but you can definitely pick it up and play it later.
Because I think all of the beginning he played was actually, I want to say Smash, and he plays Pokemon.
Yeah.
But then we didn't have Pokemon on the wheel at the time, so it didn't even matter. So all he played was I take that back. He played a little bit of Mario Kart. He played a little bit of Mario Kart and Smash because they were both on the Switch.
Mario Kart.
Yeah. So it was besides that, I was what can I really do with them? Do you remember that one Halo game that we had, the first finals?
Yes.
When Rex had went I want to say 0-13, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was hot, and that was one of the few moments I didn't know what was going on. I just knew my team was losing, and I just had to kick it into high gear. I'm listen, I got to win this game, and I want to say I probably went 28 6, something like that. I had a good KD, and I'm like, yo, we only lost by like maybe like 4 points. I'm like, what happened? I had like saw all these people, like I wasn't dying. I look at that leaderboard, man. I was sick, man. I was sick.
See, because you're playing, you can't do what I can do. So I go up behind some of my players, like when they're not in a like traumatic situation. And I'm like, hey, pull up the leaderboard. And when they pull it up, listen. When they pull it up, if I see who the problem is, like I do it as quick as I notice. Mm-hmm. I tell that person this is a part of strategy. I'm just throw it out there. I'll be like, hey, it's time for you to be a support player. Fall your ass back.
Just like camp in the corner.
I want you to not die now.
Right.
And sometimes though, it's a skill to not get murdered.
Yes.
Because this type of thing happens. So if you know that because sometimes you get forced to play a game you don't play. Mm-hmm. So if you end up forced into whatever, Gears or Halo or any of these shooters, any of the bigger team games, if you get forced into that, you can just be a great support player and don't give a bunch of kills to the other squad. Yeah. And that has worked. Like you guys are going to learn more about the players, the teams, and some of the stuff that we have going on in the next episode. But just know you'll hear about Dr. Drizzle. That's one of my players. So like in one of the games, I'm trying to figure out which shooter it was. Honestly, it was Gears. Yeah. So in Gears, I noticed that like he hadn't really played it, and it wasn't his position to play. But when he would play it, he was just trying to be a little too aggressive. Ends up being like I think like 2 kills and like 8 deaths. Oof. That's halfway through the rounds. How many rounds is?
It's best 2 out of 3.
So yeah, best 2 out of 3. So we still had time to save ourselves from if we were to lose that first round. I think I told him in that first round we did lose it, but then after that we won each round because his kills went to none, and he still got like. His deaths went to none, and his kills went up to 2. But that's a 2 positive versus his prior 6 negative.
Yeah, that's not a good look. So it takes that level of coaching to like let somebody know like this is where you got to adjust because you're costing the whole team. Yeah. Because if you go 0 and like over 10, you're feeding. Yeah. You're making the other team win. Just it doesn't matter how good the rest of your team is because they can score a lot. Like they could have like 20-3. They could have 15-5. They could be 12-1. Yeah. But if you're feeding like crazy, they're gonna lose by 2 or 3 points, and they're gonna be hot. Exactly. They're gonna be hot by the end of it. They're gonna be like, "Yo, what happened?" Yeah. No, it's like we only lost by 2 points. What happened?
And then your camaraderie's all messed up, and that's part of the attitude.
A huge part of. Oh my god,
that's
a
so
huge part of
it. Get through that. Yeah. And listen, like you're gonna see it coming up. People do throw fits, even publicly. Mm-hmm. People do lose their cool, or I would say lose their mental strength during these games. Yeah. We've lost, and the problem is if it's like 1st to 10, and you've lost your mental strength in game 2, and now you're emotionally unstable. It's not a good look. You are not, one, you're not helping your team feel any better, and 2, now how are you playing those other games that you're gonna have to play? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's it can be crazy. It can definitely be crazy.
All right. But, well, before we wrap it up, I don't know, is there anything else that you have? I have one more thing, but I figure we'll go through.
I don't have anything. So I was just gonna like harp on the teams a little bit again. Chemistry is like super important. Like you gotta. It takes a strong mind to say, even though we lost this, we're still gonna win the whole thing. Yeah. And again, guys, that's super important. I know some of the players like out there who play games like Rocket League or League of Legends or Rainbow Six Siege. That toxicity from playing online it can seep into you. Try not to bring the rest of your guys down because you're gonna be hot when you look at the numbers and you compare teams and you're like, we were the better team. How do we lose? And you're like, we weren't in it. Yep. We weren't thinking. We were frustrated.
Yeah. Either your strategy wasn't there or your mental capacity was overloaded. Yep. And you allowed that to affect your game.
It'll cost you every time.
It will cost you. And the owners are watching for that. Yes. We definitely are watching for that.
All the time.
Yeah, man. So that's
all
the time. So I think at this point we can wrap up the episode. There's one thing that I do want to mention. We do have tryouts. So you can still become a free agent till February 5th. Okay? Yep. So February 5th, I think it's probably going to be just before that will be the deadline. But just before February 5th, you can still join for this next tournament. The league is growing fast.
At a phenomenal rate.
Get involved now. Yeah. I believe it's $80, like we said.
$80
to become a free agent. Yep. You need to come show your stuff. You got to come and show the owners, me included, what you're good at. We're on Discord. How can they find us on Discord?
So the Discord link is it's a bunch of jumbled words, but honestly, if you go to our website, UltimateEndGamersLeague.com, you could find our Discord link there, and you can also email us through endgamers@yahoo.com. So
perfect.
Totally two different ways to get to us. Twitter. Well, I'm also on the social media, so I'm managing all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm all over. You can contact us directly
YouTube,
there. Yep. And then you'll be able to contact with me or Kaylee or Titus, honestly.
So the way that you can contact us, go to our website, UltimateEndGamersLeague.com, and then you can find the contact there. You'll have the email.
Yep.
You send the email, we respond very quickly. I believe Kaylee responds to emails, and she's a beast, so she's on it.
She's on it.
So any questions you have, you can send there. And also, you can go ahead to the Discord if you want more of like a real-time chat. And I know myself and Herb are in there. He's passed the Herbs in there. So if you just at him, he'll respond to you. We're both on there daily. Don't get crazy with like the 15-minute response stuff.
Yeah.
We're trying to handle things.
Yeah.
But yes, we will respond to you, answer any of your questions. The website covers a lot of it. This podcast is covering a lot of kind of how the league works, what it's currently sitting like, and how we plan to move forward. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the tryouts. What day are the tryouts?
So tryouts are every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So just come through. We're here in Fredericksburg, 4916 South Point Parkway, Fredericksburg. So we're out here in Virginia. You can come find us, man. We are not too far away from the Cracker Barrel. So if you know what South Point Parkway is, if you're like a local, but if you just find the Cracker Barrel sign, you'll actually see it on the highway. That's the exit that you make. We are right across. You will see us, and we are here, man. We're pretty much here every day. It's either going to be me, Courtney, Titus. There's always somebody here, so we're always waiting to chop it up.
Exactly, and we're going to. So another thing is you can, like, DC, come from wherever you want to come from. We're taking everybody. The commute is more up to you, but we will work with you. Team owners understand that, so if you can just make it here for the games, maybe they have a couple practices. Luckily, we're able to play online, so we can practice online a lot of the times. For the days that you have to come out for tournaments, if you're willing to do that, come from anywhere. We want you to be a part of this. This is a new movement. The Ultimate Endgamers League is taking over, and we can't wait to see you there. Thank you for being on our first podcast.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Let's go.
Let's get it.